6 months from now, your life can look completely different if you start showing up with purpose, discipline, and belief today. Most people underestimate how much they can change in half a year and overestimate how long it takes to start. You don't need a perfect plan, you just need a strong reason to begin. Change doesn't happen all at once, but it always starts with one clear choice. Your future is waiting, but it won't wait forever. If you don't take control of your life now, someone or something else will. Today, we're talking about giving yourself 6 months to completely shift your life in the right direction. It's not about overnight success, it's about consistent action. In just half a year, you can build new habits, break old limits, and become a version of yourself that once felt impossible. If you're ready to commit to growth, push through excuses, and finally take charge of your life, then let's dive in. Number 1, set clear, specific goals for the next 6 months. Most people wake up each morning with a heavy heart and a tired mind. They feel stuck, like life is on repeat, same job, same struggles, same empty feeling inside. Days pass, weeks fly by, months disappear, and nothing really changes. That's reality for so many. It's not because they don't want more out of life. It's not because they're lazy. It's because they're trying to make progress without a clear direction. They're hoping things will somehow get better without deciding what better even looks like. That's like getting in your car, driving around for hours, and expecting to arrive somewhere special without choosing a destination. You'll burn out your engine and still feel lost. That's why the first thing, before anything else, is this. You've got to set clear, specific goals for the next 6 months. Not vague dreams, not wishes. Goals, real, measurable, personal goals that have meaning to you. 6 months may not seem like much time, but you'd be shocked at what's possible when you lock your eyes on something and truly commit. 6 months of focus is more powerful than 6 years of drifting. But it only starts working when you know exactly where you're going. Now, what kind of goals are we talking about? I don't mean just be happier or get in shape or make more money. That's not specific. That's not clear. That kind of thinking won't move you out of bed when you feel tired, and it won't hold you steady when life pushes back. You need real targets. I want to lose 20 pounds by December 22nd. I will save $3,000 over the next 180 days. I'm going to read 12 books in the next 6 months. That's what clarity looks like. That's how the mind wakes up and says, all right, we've got something to work for. Make your goals personal. They have to matter to you, not to someone else. They should stir something inside you. If you're setting a goal because your neighbor or a friend is doing it, it won't last. This journey isn't about keeping up with someone else. It's about finally stepping into your own life, your own reasons, your own path. If you want to be a better parent, let that drive you. If you want to build confidence, let that push you. Don't copy someone else's dream. Take time to think about what really matters to you, what would truly make a difference in your life. Once you have those goals, write them down. Not on your phone, not just in your head. Write them down on paper and post them somewhere you'll see every day. Something strange happens when you write down a goal. It becomes real. It moves from being a passing thought to a solid commitment. Most people don't write their goals because writing them means they can no longer hide from them. But you're not most people. You're here because you're ready to draw the line between your past and your future. That pen and that paper, that's your first tool. Use it. When writing your goals, be clear about 2 things. What exactly do you want to achieve, and by when? Put a date on it. If you say, I want to pay off $2,000 of debt, that's a start. But saying, I want to pay off $2,000 of credit card debt by December 20th, now that gets your brain thinking. It forces your habits to adjust. It creates urgency. Deadlines create pressure, and pressure can push you to grow. Without a date, a goal becomes a someday, and someday never shows up on the calendar. But here's what people miss. Your goals need to be realistic, but still challenging. Set goals that stretch you but don't break you. If it's too easy, you won't grow. If it's too far out, you'll give up. Think about the goals that, if you achieved them, you'd feel proud. The ones that would change your day-to-day life. The ones that would prove to yourself that you're not stuck, you're just unplanned. And you don't need 50 goals. Don't overload yourself. Pick 3 to 5 goals that really matter and give them your full attention. You can always set more goals later, but right now, you're building momentum. You're taking control. If you try to chase too many things at once, you end up running in circles. Focus is your power in these 6 months. The beauty of setting goals for just 6 months is that it's close enough to feel real, but far enough to build something meaningful. It's not a distant dream. It's not a lifetime commitment. It's half a year of your life, and you've already given away so many 6-month chunks without even realizing it. Why not take one and use it on purpose? When you set your goals, be honest with yourself. Don't write what sounds impressive. Write what feels right. What would really change your life if it became true? Would you walk with more confidence? Would you stop worrying about money? Would you sleep better? Would you feel proud? Let those questions guide you. And don't just think about what you want to gain. Think about what you want to leave behind. What do you want to let go of in the next 6 months? Anxiety? Bad habits? Toxic relationships? Wasted time? Those are goals too. Sometimes it's not about adding more. It's about removing what's been holding you back. There's one more piece to this. Once you set your goals, talk to someone about them. Share them with someone you trust. Say them out loud. The moment you share a goal, it becomes more real. You add weight to your words. You create a little accountability, and that's a good thing. We grow faster when we know someone's watching, not to judge, but to support. Here's the truth. If you don't set your own goals, someone else will do it for you. Your job, the world, people who don't know you. You'll end up living by someone else's plan instead of your own. But if you take this step, if you make the choice to set clear, specific goals for these next 6 months, then you take the first step to taking your life back. Most people won't do this. They'll hear this and agree it sounds good, but they'll go back to living on autopilot. Don't be most people. Be one of the few who stop and say, no more drifting, no more waiting. It starts now. Because once you know what you want, you stop wasting time on what you don't. You begin to wake up with a reason. You stop checking the clock and start making the hours count. That's what this is all about. Making this next season of your life different. 6 months from now, your life could look completely different than it does today. It all starts with clarity. Not magic. Not luck. Just a decision. Decide what matters to you. Write it down and commit to it like your life depends on it. Because the quality of your life might. Number 2. Break down your goals into smaller, achievable tasks. Most people start with a goal in mind and then get overwhelmed before they even take the first step. They look at the big picture and feel frozen. They say they want to lose weight, or start a business, or fix their finances, and at first they feel a spark. But then reality hits. They don't know where to begin. They see a mountain in front of them, and they don't have the energy or belief to climb it. That's when doubt starts creeping in. That's when they go back to old habits. Not because the goal was impossible, but because they tried to leap instead of walk. That's what keeps most people stuck. Not failure, not laziness, but trying to do it all at once. You can't change your life overnight, but you can change what you do every day. And that starts with breaking your goals into smaller, doable pieces. If you've ever felt like giving up after just getting started, this is why. The human mind gets overwhelmed when it sees too much at once. It shuts down. But when you turn a big goal into bite-sized steps, everything changes. Suddenly you see a path. Suddenly the impossible starts to feel manageable. Let's say you set a 6-month goal to save $3,000. If you stare at that number every day, you might feel discouraged. But if you divide it up, you only need to save $500 a month. That's about $125 a week. And if you go even further, that's $18 a day. Now you're thinking, wait, if I skip takeout and bring lunch, I could hit that. You see the difference. Same goal, but now it's not some big scary number. Now it's something you can handle. It's the same with fitness. If your goal is to lose 20 pounds, don't obsess over the 20. Break it down to 3 or 4 pounds a month. Then break that into weekly habits. How many times you'll work out, how you'll adjust your meals, how much water you'll drink. That's how real change happens, not from pressure, but from progress. Tiny wins, day after day, stacking on each other. People fail when they think the first step has to be huge. It doesn't. It just has to be in the right direction. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to have all the answers. But you do need a plan. You do need to take what looks big and turn it into actions you can take today. When you do that, you stop waiting for motivation and you start building momentum. Here's a simple strategy. Take each of your goals and break them down into weekly targets. Then, take those weekly targets and create a short list of daily actions. Don't overload the list. You're not trying to be perfect. You're trying to be consistent. If your goal is to write a book, your weekly target might be to write 2,000 words. Your daily task could be to write 400 words a day for 5 days. That's how you go from someday to done. The smaller the task, the harder it is to make excuses. When your to-do list says, spend 10 minutes reviewing finances, you're less likely to avoid it. But if it says, fix financial life, your brain will shut down and look for a distraction. That's the psychology of task management. Our minds respond to clarity and simplicity. Make your actions so clear and so doable that skipping them feels silly. You also need structure. Decide when and where you're going to do these tasks. Vague intentions don't lead to real action. Saying, I'll go to the gym sometime this week, usually means you won't. But saying, I'll work out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. creates a mental commitment. You start to organize your day around it. The brain needs that structure. Otherwise, you'll default to old patterns every time stress or distraction shows up. Another important part of breaking down your goals is to know what the first step actually is. A lot of people procrastinate because the first step isn't clear. They say they'll start the business, but don't know what that means in real terms. Maybe the first step is researching your idea. Maybe it's setting up a simple website. Maybe it's calling someone who's done it before. Make your first step so clear that you could do it right now without thinking twice. And when you complete those small tasks, give yourself credit. Feel that win. Most people don't celebrate small progress because they think it doesn't matter. But it does. Every small step forward rewires your brain. It builds confidence. It says, I can do this. It doesn't matter if the progress feels slow. What matters is that it's steady. The small things make the big things possible. You'll also notice something powerful when you break goals down this way. You stop feeling overwhelmed and start feeling in control. That's one of the most important shifts you can make. Control gives you peace of mind. It gives you a reason to show up, even on hard days. When your actions are clear and you know why you're doing them, discipline gets easier. You stop waiting to feel ready. You start moving, no matter what. Another benefit? You can track your wins more easily. You know if you're on track or falling behind. That kind of awareness helps you adjust before things fall apart. You're no longer reacting to life, you're shaping it. One task at a time, one day at a time. And let's not ignore this. Life will get in the way. Distractions will come. Emotions will rise. You'll miss a few steps. But when your goals are broken down, it's easier to get back on track. You don't need to restart everything. You just pick up where you left off. You don't spiral, you refocus. What you need to understand is this. Consistency isn't about doing big things every day. It's about doing the right small things over and over again. That's where results live. That's where transformation begins. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stay on the path. 1,000 small steps will get you further than one giant leap you never take. Use this system: clear goals, smaller tasks, daily structure. Build your life like a staircase, one step, then the next. That's how you create 6 months that matter. That's how you create real change that lasts, not in theory, in practice, where it counts. Number 3, develop a daily routine to stay productive and focused. Most people don't need more time, they need more direction with the time they already have. The problem isn't the clock. The problem is waking up each day without a plan. They open their eyes and dive straight into stress, noise, distractions. They react to everything: the phone buzzing, the emails piling up, the endless notifications, and before they know it, the day is gone. No progress, no peace. Just another blur of hours they can't even remember. That's the reality for most. And it continues not because they lack ambition, but because they never took control of how their day begins and ends. If you want to change your life in 6 months, you have to own your days. Not some of them, not when it's easy, every day. And that means building a routine that works for you instead of against you. A routine gives your mind structure. It gives your energy direction. And it tells your habits where to go. Without it, you wake up hoping for motivation. With it, you wake up knowing what to do, even when you don't feel like it. The first step is deciding how your mornings begin. The first hour of your day shapes the rest of it. If your mornings start in chaos, don't expect calm or clarity to show up later. That means no checking your phone before you check in with yourself. Wake up with intention. Get out of bed without delay. Drink water. Move your body, even for a few minutes. Spend time with your thoughts before the world rushes in. Whether that means reading, journaling, or sitting quietly, use those first minutes to set your tone, not absorb someone else's. Once you're centered, focus on your top priorities. Don't start the day by doing easy things just to feel productive. Start with the most important task, the one that moves your life forward. This trains your mind to value progress over comfort. It sharpens your attention and builds self-trust. When you begin each day by tackling something meaningful, it gets easier to keep going. Break your day into blocks. Divide your hours by purpose, not just by time. For example, set a block for focused work. Set another for learning, another for planning, one for movement. This isn't about turning your life into a strict schedule. It's about making space for what matters. You're not filling time, you're using it with purpose. To stay productive, cut the noise. Turn off what distracts you. Set your phone in another room if you need to. Close the tabs you don't need. Let people know when you're in focus mode. Most distractions aren't emergencies, they're habits. And every time you give in to them, you train your brain to avoid deep work. But when you choose to stay focused, you build a muscle that compounds over time. In the middle of the day, take short breaks. Step away from your task. Let your mind breathe. You're not a machine, and forcing yourself to grind non-stop doesn't make you more productive, it makes you more exhausted. Step outside, stretch, get some sunlight, drink water. These small resets keep your energy steady and your thinking clear. Afternoons are where most people start to slip. That's when fatigue sets in. That's when your mind starts looking for escape. Be ready for it. Have a plan to stay on track. Review what you've already accomplished and what still needs your attention. Adjust if needed. Don't throw the whole day away just because 1 hour didn't go as planned. You're not chasing perfection. You're building consistency. As the day winds down, transition with intention. Review your day. What worked? What didn't? Where did you stay focused? Where did you drift? This reflection helps you improve without shame. Then plan for tomorrow. Write down your top 3 priorities. When you go to bed already knowing what you'll do the next day, your brain sleeps better and you wake up with direction instead of doubt. And don't skip your evening routine. Just like your mornings, your nights need structure. Turn off screens early. Give yourself time to wind down. Reflect on wins, even if they're small. Gratitude isn't just a nice idea, it rewires your brain for resilience. Sleep is where your body recovers and your mind resets. Don't trade it for meaningless scrolling or late-night stress. The power of a routine isn't in the parts. It's in the rhythm. It's in knowing that each day you're showing up with a plan. That even when life gets noisy, your foundation stays strong. You can't control every situation, but you can control how you show up to each day. That's what your routine gives you, a sense of ownership, a sense of direction, a way to build your future one day at a time. But here's the catch. Your routine won't build itself. You have to design it, you have to test it, and you have to protect it. This isn't about being rigid. Life will throw you curveballs. But the stronger your baseline routine, the faster you bounce back. When you've trained your mind and body to operate with discipline, chaos doesn't shake you the same way. And it doesn't have to be perfect from day one. Start simple. Choose 1 or 2 things you'll do every morning and stick to it. Then add 1 habit to your afternoon, 1 to your evening. Build slowly, build with intention, and keep adjusting. What matters most is that your routine fits your life, not someone else's version of success. Make it sustainable. Make it personal. Make it something you can live by, not something you dread. Over time, this routine becomes your anchor. It's what holds you steady when emotions rise. It's what keeps you grounded when motivation fades. You don't need to rely on willpower when you have systems in place. That's the secret. Motivation is unreliable. Routines are not. Routines don't ask how you feel. They remind you who you are. 6 months from now, the results you'll have won't come from one big decision. They'll come from 100 small ones made daily, from the quiet moments when you chose to show up, from the habits you repeated when nobody was watching. Your future self is built by your daily self. If you want to transform your life, start by transforming how you live each day. A routine isn't just about getting things done. It's about becoming someone new, someone who doesn't wait to feel ready, someone who doesn't leave their time to chance, someone who's taken responsibility for their path. And when that becomes your identity, you won't have to push yourself every day. You'll just be the kind of person who follows through. The kind of person who's focused, disciplined, and moving forward. That's what a daily routine gives you. Not just structure, but identity. Not just productivity, but purpose. And when you live like that, even ordinary days lead to extraordinary results. Number 4, prioritize self-discipline over motivation for lasting change. Many people believe that motivation is the key to success. They wait for that feeling, that spark, that rush of energy before they take action. They think motivation will carry them through the hard times. But motivation is unreliable. It's a feeling that comes and goes like the weather. Some days you wake up excited, ready to conquer the world. Other days the same goal feels heavy and impossible. Relying on motivation alone means putting your future in the hands of chance. That's why most people start strong and quit early. Because when motivation disappears, so does their effort. Self-discipline is different. It's not about how you feel. It's about what you do, no matter how you feel. It's the choice to keep moving forward, even when motivation is gone. Discipline is a habit, a muscle you build over time. It doesn't depend on emotions or external circumstances. When discipline is strong, you act because it's part of who you are, not because you're chasing a feeling. That's where lasting change lives. If you want to transform your life in 6 months, self-discipline must be your foundation. Imagine this. A person with motivation but no discipline is like a car with a full tank but no driver. They have the fuel but no direction, no control. They start and stop, driven by how they feel at the moment. Now imagine someone with discipline but little motivation. They might not feel excited every day, but they get in the driver's seat, start the engine, and keep going regardless. Over time, this consistent movement creates progress. It creates results. The truth is, motivation can inspire you to start, but discipline keeps you going. It's the force that wakes you up when you want to stay in bed. It's what makes you say no to distractions. It's what pushes you to do the work when you don't want to. Discipline builds trust in yourself because you prove that you can be counted on. That's a powerful feeling. It changes your relationship with goals. You stop seeing them as something far away and difficult. You start seeing them as a series of actions within your control. Building discipline is not about being harsh with yourself or pushing to exhaustion. It's about creating systems that support your decisions. It's about small daily commitments that add up. When you choose to do something, even if it's uncomfortable, you're strengthening that discipline muscle. Like any muscle, it gets stronger with use. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Over time, what once felt hard becomes habit, and habits become identity. A good way to start is by setting non-negotiable actions in your daily routine. These are tasks you do regardless of mood or circumstances. For example, if your goal is to get fit, a non-negotiable might be to put on your workout clothes every morning, even if you don't exercise. That act alone keeps your discipline sharp because you're following through on your commitment. The next step becomes easier. Maybe you don't work out every day, but you keep the habit of preparation, and that keeps the door open for action. Avoid relying on motivation to create discipline. If you wait to feel like doing something, you will often lose valuable time. Instead, create a plan that doesn't depend on feelings. Use reminders, accountability, and clear goals to keep you moving. Discipline is like a contract you make with yourself. When you honor that contract, you build confidence. Confidence that you can face challenges, setbacks, and distractions without losing your way. One of the biggest obstacles to discipline is allowing excuses to take over. It's easy to say, "I'll do it tomorrow," or "I'm too tired today." These thoughts are natural, but if you give in to them, discipline weakens. Instead, notice these excuses and choose a different response. Say, "I'll rest after I finish this task," or "I'll start with just 5 minutes. Often, once you start, momentum builds, and what seemed impossible becomes doable. Discipline grows with every choice you make to act despite resistance. Another powerful tool for building discipline is creating boundaries. This means saying no to things that don't support your goals. It means protecting your time and energy from distractions, temptations, and negativity. Boundaries are a form of respect for yourself and your future. Without boundaries, discipline gets stretched thin. Your energy is scattered. Your focus blurs. To build discipline, you must learn to protect what matters most. It's also important to understand that discipline requires patience. It's not a quick fix. You won't feel like a disciplined person overnight. There will be days when you fail, when you slip, when you lose your way. That's normal. What matters is what you do next. Discipline is about getting back up. It's about showing up again tomorrow, stronger and wiser. Each time you choose to continue, you reinforce your identity as someone who can be trusted. You don't have to be perfect to be disciplined. Perfectionism is often the enemy of progress. Discipline means doing your best with what you have right now. It means accepting that mistakes are part of the process. When you accept that, you free yourself from fear. You free yourself to take action. Action builds discipline, and discipline builds results. Look at every success story, and you'll find discipline at its core. It's the quiet force behind every achievement. The people who change their lives don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect feeling. They act with discipline day after day. They understand that motivation is temporary, but discipline is permanent. That understanding makes all the difference. Start by choosing one area in your life where you want to grow discipline. It could be waking up early, exercising, reading, or managing your money. Pick one habit that matters and commit to it for the next 6 months. Make it non-negotiable. Write it down. Tell someone you trust. Use tools to remind you. Then when motivation fades, lean on discipline. Do the action anyway. That choice is what separates those who reach their goals from those who don't. Discipline is the backbone of transformation. It's the engine that drives progress when motivation runs dry. It gives you control over your future. It builds resilience against setbacks. When you prioritize self-discipline, you're investing in a skill that lasts a lifetime. You're not just changing your habits, you're changing your identity. You become someone who follows through. Someone who creates their life by design. 6 months of disciplined action is enough time to change everything. But it takes more than wanting. It takes commitment. It takes showing up every day, even when it's hard. It takes choosing action over comfort. When you do that, you don't just hope for change, you make it happen. Number 5. Track your progress and adjust strategies as needed. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to change their lives is ignoring the progress they're making. They start a new goal, throw themselves into it, and expect everything to happen perfectly. Then, when things don't move as fast as they hoped, frustration sets in, doubt creeps in. They wonder if they're doing the right thing, or if it's even worth continuing. What they fail to realize is that progress isn't always obvious in the moment, and it's rarely linear. Change takes time, and tracking your progress is the only way to keep a clear view of where you are and where you need to go. Tracking progress is more than just a checklist or marking days on a calendar. It's about creating a system that lets you see what's working and what isn't. When you do this, you remove the guesswork from your journey. You make decisions based on facts, not feelings. You get real proof that your efforts matter, even when results seem slow. And that proof fuels motivation and builds confidence. If you don't track your progress, you risk falling into discouragement or repeating the same mistakes. Start by identifying measurable indicators of success for your goals. For example, if you're trying to improve your health, measure things like how many workouts you complete, the quality of your sleep, or changes in your energy levels. If you want to grow financially, track your savings, expenses, or income streams. If you're learning a new skill, track hours spent practicing or milestones reached. The key is to use data that tells you how you're moving toward your goal. This data gives you clarity and makes the invisible visible. Once you know what to track, commit to reviewing it regularly. This could be daily, weekly, or monthly, depending on the goal. Regular reviews help you catch small issues before they become big problems. They also allow you to celebrate wins no matter how small. When you take time to acknowledge progress, it keeps your spirit alive. It reminds you that you're capable of change and that every effort counts. Tracking progress also helps you understand your own patterns. You might notice certain times of day when you're most productive, or certain habits that support or sabotage your success. You might discover that some strategies are working better than others. This insight is powerful because it lets you adjust your plan in real time. Flexibility isn't a weakness, it's a strength. It means you're smart enough to course-correct instead of stubbornly pushing a failing approach. Adjusting your strategies when needed is critical. Sticking to a plan that's not working wastes time and energy. Instead, view your progress tracking as a tool for improvement. If a method isn't helping you move forward, don't be afraid to change it. Maybe you need to try a new way of working, a different schedule, or additional support. Maybe your goals need refining. Remember, goals aren't set in stone. They're guides, not shackles. Adjustments are part of the process, not signs of failure. There's a temptation to ignore setbacks or pretend everything is fine when it's not. But avoiding reality only slows you down. Honest tracking means facing the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. It means being willing to admit mistakes and learn from them. It means taking responsibility for your progress. This kind of accountability builds resilience. It makes you stronger and more prepared for future challenges. To make tracking easier, use tools that work for you. It could be a journal, an app, a spreadsheet, or simple sticky notes. The tool isn't as important as the habit of checking in with yourself. Find a method that fits your lifestyle and stick with it. Over time, this practice becomes a natural part of your routine. It keeps you connected to your goals and committed to your growth. Don't forget to include qualitative measures in your tracking too. Not all progress can be measured in numbers. Sometimes your mindset, your confidence, or your daily habits are just as important. Ask yourself questions like, how do I feel about my progress? What have I learned about myself? What habits am I building? These reflections give depth to your journey. They keep your growth balanced between action and awareness. Progress tracking also creates a powerful sense of control. When you see that your efforts are producing results, you feel empowered. You realize that change is not a random event, but a process you can influence. This shift in mindset is crucial. It moves you from a passive dreamer to an active creator of your future. And that's exactly the mindset needed to change everything in 6 months. Tracking progress and adjusting strategies is not a one-time event. It's a continuous loop. You act, measure, reflect, and then act again with new information. This cycle builds momentum. It sharpens your focus and improves your efficiency. It makes your journey less overwhelming because you break it into manageable steps and learn along the way. You might think tracking and adjusting is tedious or unnecessary, but it's what separates those who reach their goals from those who don't. Without tracking, it's easy to get lost, discouraged, or distracted. With tracking, every step you take becomes a building block for success. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to learn. Every win becomes a reason to keep going. 6 months is enough time to create massive change, but only if you stay connected to your progress and remain willing to adapt. Your goals will evolve, your circumstances will shift, and your strategies must grow with you. If you commit to watching your journey closely and making smart changes, you will move forward faster and with more confidence. Ultimately, tracking your progress is an act of respect for yourself and your dreams. It says that you value your efforts and your time. It says that you refuse to waste potential. It says that you're serious about change. When you treat your goals with this level of care, your results will reflect it. Your transformation becomes inevitable because you are not waiting for luck or motivation. You are actively building the future you want. Number 6. Surround yourself with supportive people and resources. One of the hardest truths many people face is that going it alone rarely works. You can have the best goals and the strongest will, but if the people around you don't support your journey, it becomes a constant uphill battle. Too often, people underestimate the power of their environment, the people they spend time with, the energy they absorb, and the resources they access. This environment shapes how you think, how you feel, and what you believe is possible. If you want to change everything in 6 months, surrounding yourself with support is not optional, it's essential. Consider the reality most people live in. They are surrounded by voices of doubt, distraction, and negativity. Friends, family, or co-workers might unintentionally pull you back into old habits. Sometimes it's jealousy, sometimes it's fear, and sometimes it's simply a lack of understanding. When you're trying to grow, these influences can weigh heavy. They drain your energy and chip away at your confidence. If you don't create a protective circle, you'll find yourself trapped in patterns that keep you stuck. Supportive people don't just cheer you on, they challenge you in the right ways. They hold you accountable when your own willpower wavers. They remind you of your value when you forget it yourself. They share wisdom and advice from their own experiences, helping you avoid mistakes and find shortcuts. But most importantly, they believe in your ability to change, even when you don't. This belief is like a lifeline during tough times. Finding these people requires intention. It means being honest about who is in your circle and whether they lift you up or pull you down. This can be difficult because it might mean distancing yourself from relationships that feel familiar but aren't helpful. Change demands sacrifice. Sometimes the people who have been around the longest aren't the ones you need to move forward. Creating a supportive network means choosing relationships that inspire growth, not comfort. It's not just about people either. Resources play a huge role in your success. These are the books you read, the courses you take, the mentors you follow, and the communities you join. The right resources open your mind to new ideas and provide tools to develop your skills. They keep you educated and informed so you don't waste time on guesswork. Investing in quality resources is investing in yourself. Often, people avoid seeking support because they believe they should do everything on their own. This pride or fear of asking for help can be a major roadblock. But growth is rarely a solo journey. It's collaboration, connection, and learning from others that accelerate progress. When you surround yourself with support, you create a safety net that catches you when you fall and pushes you when you hesitate. A practical step is to identify 1 or 2 people who genuinely want to see you succeed. These might be friends, family members, mentors, or coaches. Share your goals with them and ask for their honest feedback and encouragement. Having even one accountability partner makes a huge difference. They remind you of your commitments when your focus drifts. They celebrate your wins with genuine excitement. This simple connection can be the difference between giving up and pushing through. Communities are another powerful source of support. Whether it's a local group or an online forum, being part of a community with similar goals creates a sense of belonging. It lets you exchange ideas, find motivation, and feel less alone. Humans are social creatures, and when your tribe believes in growth, your own belief grows stronger. These communities provide encouragement and perspective that you won't get if you try to go it alone. Choosing your resources wisely is equally important. Not all advice or teachings serve your purpose. Some information might be outdated, misleading, or just not aligned with your values. Be discerning about what you consume. Focus on resources that are proven, practical, and realistic. The goal is to build knowledge that empowers you, not confuses you. When you invest in good materials, you build a foundation that supports every step you take. In the process of building support, expect resistance from others and from yourself. Some people may not understand your vision or might even discourage you. That's a test of your commitment. When resistance comes, remind yourself why you started and lean more heavily on your support system. If resistance comes from within, practice patience and kindness with yourself. Change is hard, but it becomes easier with others walking alongside you. Supportive relationships also teach you valuable lessons about trust and vulnerability. Being open about your struggles and progress creates deeper connections. It allows you to receive feedback and encouragement that you wouldn't get if you put up walls. Vulnerability is a strength that builds resilience. It helps you grow emotionally as well as practically. Sometimes support comes from unexpected places. A podcast, a book, or a brief conversation can spark new motivation or insight. Stay open to these moments. They can become catalysts for change. Surrounding yourself with support isn't just about people physically close to you. It's about the broader network you create intentionally. As you build this environment, remember to give support in return. Relationships grow through mutual effort. When you encourage others, share your experiences, or offer help, you reinforce your own commitment. Support is a two-way street. The more you give, the more you receive. This cycle creates a positive energy that fuels continuous growth. 6 months of change is a powerful journey, but it's not meant to be lonely. When you surround yourself with the right people and resources, you create a protective and inspiring space. This space cushions you from setbacks and propels you toward your goals. It keeps you grounded when challenges arise and reminds you of your potential when doubt creeps in. This kind of support transforms the way you see yourself and your possibilities. It rewires your thinking from scarcity to abundance, from fear to courage, from isolation to connection. You no longer face obstacles alone because you're backed by a team invested in your success. This network becomes a vital part of your transformation story. Surrounding yourself with support is not a sign of weakness. It's a smart strategy for lasting change. It acknowledges that human connection matters. It recognizes that growth is easier and faster when you're not isolated. It proves that your environment can either limit you or lift you higher. The power of supportive people and resources can't be overstated. They are the invisible force behind every breakthrough. When your world is filled with encouragement, knowledge, and accountability, your goals become less daunting and more achievable. You begin to move forward with confidence, knowing you have the strength of a community behind you. Create this environment deliberately, protect it fiercely, nourish it daily. This is how you build a foundation so strong that 6 months from now, you won't recognize the person you've become. You'll see a version of yourself who didn't just dream of change, but lived it with the support needed to make it real. Number 7. Invest in learning new skills to level up yourself. Change is not magic. It demands effort and growth. Most people who want to change their lives feel stuck because they rely on what they already know, what's comfortable, or what got them by yesterday. But the truth is, the world keeps moving, and the skills that worked before won't always serve you in the future you want. If you want to completely change your life in 6 months, you have to commit to learning something new, something that stretches you beyond your current limits and pushes you toward your goals. Many people resist this idea because learning takes time and energy. It feels easier to stay where you are, doing the same things you always did, even if you aren't satisfied. There's comfort in familiarity, even if it's a cage. But real change demands more than good intentions. It requires action that builds new abilities. Skills aren't just tools. They shape your confidence and open doors that were previously closed. Investing in learning is like investing in your own power. Every new skill you acquire adds to your capacity to create results. It strengthens your ability to solve problems, make decisions, and face challenges. The more you learn, the more flexible and adaptable you become. This flexibility is essential because change rarely follows a straight path. The new skills you build will help you navigate bumps in the road and keep moving forward. The first step is recognizing the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Once you see this clearly, you can identify the specific skills that will close that gap. These might be practical skills like time management, communication, or financial planning. They could also be mindset skills like resilience, focus, or emotional control. Whatever the skill, it has to align with your goals and be something you can work on consistently over the next 6 months. Many people wait for the perfect moment to start learning. They think they need more time, money, or the right circumstances. But the perfect moment rarely arrives on its own. The only way to grow is to start where you are, with what you have, and keep moving. This means making time each day to practice, study, and apply what you're learning. Small, steady steps add up to big progress. Resources for learning are more accessible now than ever before. There are books, podcasts, online courses, workshops, and mentors available on almost any topic. But having access isn't enough. You have to choose wisely. Pick learning that is practical, actionable, and tailored to your needs. Avoid information overload. Focus on one skill at a time and dig deep. Mastery, not just exposure, is what changes lives. Another common mistake is thinking that learning happens only through formal education or structured programs. Learning happens every day in small moments: conversations, observations, mistakes, and reflections. Keep your mind open to these opportunities. Ask questions, seek feedback, and be curious about how things work. The attitude of a lifelong learner fuels progress far more than any quick fix or short burst of effort. Investing in new skills often feels uncomfortable. It challenges your identity and forces you to confront your limitations. You might feel awkward or frustrated at first, but this is part of the process. Growth never comes without discomfort. The key is to lean into that discomfort and push through it. Remember that every expert started as a beginner who kept trying despite the difficulties. Building new skills is not just about the immediate payoff. It's about creating momentum that carries you far beyond these 6 months. Skills compound. When you learn one, it becomes easier to learn others. You start seeing problems in new ways and solving them faster. You gain confidence that spills over into every area of your life. This kind of growth reshapes your future. Commitment is essential. It's not enough to buy a book or enroll in a course and then abandon it when motivation wanes. You must build a habit of consistent learning. Set aside time daily or weekly and protect it. Treat it like a meeting with yourself that cannot be missed. Over time, this habit becomes part of who you are, and the skills you develop become part of your identity. Sometimes, investing in learning means spending money. This can feel like a big hurdle, but think of it as an investment, not an expense. The returns you get from learning, whether it's a better job, stronger relationships, or greater confidence, far outweigh the initial cost. If money is tight, look for affordable or free resources, but still prioritize quality and commitment. Another powerful aspect of learning new skills is how it changes your mindset. When you prove to yourself that you can master something new, your belief in your ability to change grows. This belief is a foundation for every other success. You stop seeing yourself as stuck or limited. Instead, you become someone who grows, adapts, and overcomes. Learning also builds patience and discipline. Progress doesn't happen overnight, and skills develop gradually. You learn to trust the process, even when results aren't immediate. This patience is crucial because change is a marathon, not a sprint. The persistence you develop while learning carries over into all your goals. A practical way to invest in learning is to set clear learning goals alongside your other goals. For example, if your goal is to improve your health, your learning goal might be to understand nutrition basics or exercise science. If your goal is career growth, your learning might focus on communication skills or industry knowledge. Having learning goals gives structure to your efforts. It helps to track your learning progress. Keep a journal or log where you note what you studied, what you practiced, and what you discovered. This record provides motivation and insight. You'll see how far you've come and identify areas where you need to focus more. Tracking also turns vague intentions into concrete actions. Learning new skills is not a straight path. You'll face setbacks, confusion, and sometimes failure. These moments are part of the journey. The difference between those who succeed and those who quit is how they respond to setbacks. Use mistakes as feedback. Adjust your approach. Keep moving forward with curiosity and determination. The energy and excitement that come from gaining new skills fuel other areas of your life. You become more engaged and enthusiastic. This energy attracts opportunities and people who support your growth. Your whole environment begins to shift as you raise your level of competence and confidence. Every skill you invest in builds a new piece of your future self. This future self is more capable, confident, and ready to handle whatever comes next. By focusing on learning over the next 6 months, you create a foundation that will serve you for years to come. You're not just changing your life temporarily, you're changing your ability to create the life you want forever. When you invest deeply in learning new skills, you gain more than knowledge, you gain empowerment. This empowerment comes from knowing you have what it takes to improve and to succeed. It changes how you see challenges and how you respond to them. You become a person who takes control, not a person who waits for luck or circumstance. This investment is one of the most valuable choices you can make. It builds your capacity to solve problems, seize opportunities, and live with purpose. It moves you from dreaming about change to making change happen. Over these 6 months, the skills you develop will become the tools that craft your new reality. Number 8. Take consistent action even when motivation fades away. Most people who want to change their lives get stuck waiting for motivation to show up. They think motivation is what will carry them through. The problem is motivation is like a visitor, it comes and goes. Sometimes it's strong and clear, but often it disappears right when you need it most. The truth is, waiting for motivation is a trap that keeps most people exactly where they are. If change is going to happen, it won't happen because you feel motivated all the time. It will happen because you take consistent action day in and day out, whether you feel motivated or not. You can't always count on feelings to push you forward. Some days you'll feel energized, excited, ready to move mountains. Other days, fatigue, doubt, or fear will try to slow you down. What separates those who change their lives from those who don't is the ability to take action regardless of how they feel. Discipline replaces motivation. Discipline is the muscle that carries you through when motivation fades. Taking consistent action means showing up, doing the work, even if it's just a small step. You don't have to conquer everything in one day. The point is to keep moving forward. When you make action a habit, you build momentum. Momentum grows stronger with each small step, making it easier to take the next one. Momentum is what pushes you through tough days, through setbacks, and through moments of doubt. Imagine for a moment how your life would look if you acted every day on your goals, even when you didn't feel like it. Think about the difference it would make 6 months from now. Consistent action stacks up. It compounds. Small efforts that seem insignificant in the moment add up to massive change over time. Every successful person understands this. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on routine and persistence. The challenge is that taking consistent action requires commitment. It means deciding in advance that no matter what happens, you will do something that moves you closer to your goal every day. That commitment is what changes your identity. You become someone who acts, not someone who waits. And when you build that identity, you unlock potential you never thought possible. Most people fail to take consistent action because they expect instant results. When they don't see immediate progress, they lose heart and stop. But real change isn't immediate. It's gradual. It takes time, patience, and steady effort. Understanding this reality is the first step to building lasting habits that create real results. Patience and consistency go hand in hand. It's also important to recognize the power of starting small. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Begin with the smallest step you can take. It might be just 5 minutes of focused work or one simple task toward your goal. Small wins create confidence. They prove to your mind that you're capable. Once confidence builds, it fuels even more consistent action. Setting clear priorities helps maintain consistent action. It's easy to get distracted or overwhelmed. When you know exactly what matters most, you can focus your energy on those tasks first. This focus prevents wasted time and effort. It also makes it easier to take action on days when energy feels low because you're not guessing or hesitating about what to do. Accountability is a powerful tool for consistent action. Share your goals with someone you trust or join a group working towards similar goals. Having someone check in on your progress creates external pressure to follow through. It's easier to take action when you know someone else cares about your success. Accountability turns your intentions into commitments. Another factor that supports consistency is preparation. Prepare your environment and tools so that taking action is as easy as possible. For example, if your goal is to write every day, keep your notebook or computer ready and accessible. If your goal is to exercise, lay out your workout clothes the night before. The less friction between you and your actions, the more consistent you can be. Facing resistance is inevitable. When you commit to consistent action, resistance will show up as excuses, distractions, or feelings of overwhelm. These are normal. The difference is how you respond. You acknowledge resistance without letting it control you. You push through it, knowing that every time you do, you strengthen your ability to act despite challenges. Celebrating small wins supports your ability to keep going. Each time you take action, recognize it. Acknowledge the effort you put in, even if the results aren't perfect. Positive reinforcement encourages your brain to repeat the behavior. It builds confidence and motivation for the next step. Consistency thrives on these small victories. It's helpful to build a clear plan for your action steps. Knowing what you need to do each day removes the guesswork. A plan creates structure. When you have a roadmap, it's easier to show up and do the work, even when enthusiasm is low. Structure protects you from relying solely on motivation. Tracking your actions is another way to maintain consistency. Keep a journal, checklist, or digital tracker where you record what you do each day. Seeing your progress visually is motivating. It also holds you accountable. When you miss a day, you notice it and can make adjustments to get back on track quickly. Some days, action might look different. On high-energy days, you might accomplish a lot. On low-energy days, your action might be smaller but still meaningful. This flexibility helps you maintain consistency over time. The key is showing up, not doing everything perfectly. Imperfection is part of progress. Taking consistent action also strengthens your belief in your ability to change. When you prove to yourself that you can keep going despite difficulties, your confidence grows. This growing confidence becomes a powerful force that pushes you toward your goals. It shifts your mindset from doubt to determination. Ignoring motivation and relying on consistent action reshapes your relationship with your goals. Your goals become less about hope and more about habits. You stop waiting for a feeling and start creating a reality. You take control of your life by controlling your actions. This shift is where real power lies. This is not easy work. It requires courage to push past comfort and excuses. It demands resilience to keep going through setbacks. But the rewards are worth every effort. Each day you take action, you build a stronger foundation for your future. 6 months of consistent effort can rewrite your story. The process of taking action daily transforms not just your results, but who you become. You grow into a person who is dependable, focused, and relentless. This identity sticks with you beyond any single goal. It prepares you to face bigger challenges and reach higher peaks. You don't have to feel motivated every day to succeed. You have to take action every day. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates progress, and progress creates belief. That belief fuels further action. This cycle creates unstoppable forward movement. It's time to stop waiting for motivation and start building your life through consistent action. This 6-month journey will test you, challenge you, and change you. But if you commit to taking action, no matter what, you will look back and see a transformation that once felt impossible. Number 9. Cultivate a positive mindset to overcome challenges. It's a harsh reality that life will test every one of us. No matter how prepared you think you are, challenges come sometimes when you least expect them. Many people get stuck right there, overwhelmed by problems, doubts, and fear. The difference between those who move forward and those who stay stuck is the mindset they carry into these moments. If you want to change everything in 6 months, cultivating a positive mindset isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Without it, obstacles can break you down. With it, obstacles become stepping stones. A positive mindset doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect or ignoring difficulties. It means choosing to focus on solutions instead of problems, possibilities instead of limitations. It means training your mind to see setbacks as temporary and challenges as chances to grow. This mental shift isn't automatic or easy. It takes practice and patience. But it's the foundation of resilience. It's what helps you stand tall when things get tough and keep pushing even when your energy is low. Most people underestimate the power of their own thoughts. They allow negative ideas like, "I'm not good enough," "this is impossible," or "I always fail," to shape their reality. These thoughts don't just hurt feelings, they destroy progress. They zap motivation and drain energy. If you want to change in 6 months, you have to start by changing what's happening inside your head. Begin by noticing your thoughts without judgment. When negative thoughts arise, don't accept them as facts. Question them. Replace them with constructive and empowering beliefs. It's not about ignoring problems, but about choosing how to respond to them. For example, instead of thinking, "I can't do this," consider, "This is hard, but I can learn and improve." Instead of saying, "I failed again," try saying, "This attempt taught me something important." These subtle changes in language have a massive impact on your mood and behavior. They open the door for new possibilities instead of locking you in old patterns. A positive mindset also involves gratitude. This doesn't mean ignoring what's wrong, but actively recognizing what's going right, no matter how small. When you focus on what you appreciate, your health, your skills, the support around you, you create an emotional buffer against discouragement. Gratitude shifts your perspective from scarcity to abundance. It reminds you there is always something good to build on, even in difficult times. Another part of cultivating positivity is managing your environment. The people you spend time with, the information you consume, and the habits you practice all influence your mindset. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, challenge you, and encourage you to grow. Distance yourself from negativity and criticism that doesn't serve your progress. Be mindful about what you watch, read, and listen to. Choose content that inspires and uplifts. Self-talk. The way you speak to yourself is one of the most powerful tools for shaping your mindset. Many people are their own worst critics, beating themselves up over mistakes or perceived shortcomings. If you want to change everything, start treating yourself like you would treat a close friend. Speak kindly, offer encouragement, and acknowledge your effort and progress. This kind of self-compassion fuels motivation and builds emotional strength. When challenges come, and they will, your mindset will determine how you experience them. A positive mindset doesn't eliminate hardship, but it equips you to face it without being crushed. It helps you find solutions, learn lessons, and adapt strategies. It creates space for hope, even in the darkest moments. This hope isn't blind optimism. It's a grounded confidence that you can handle whatever comes your way because you've trained your mind to work for you, not against you. It's important to remember that cultivating a positive mindset is a process. It requires daily commitment. Your mind is like a garden. You must tend it, pulling out weeds of doubt and planting seeds of belief and hope. The more consistent you are, the stronger your mindset becomes. When you start your day with positive intentions, affirmations, or moments of reflection, you set the tone for your actions and reactions. One practical way to build this mindset is through journaling. Writing down your thoughts and feelings allows you to track negative patterns and replace them with positive ones. Reflect on your wins, your growth, and the progress you make. Recording how you overcame difficulties reminds you of your strength. This practice creates a feedback loop of positivity that reinforces resilience. Visualization is another powerful technique. Picture yourself succeeding, overcoming obstacles, and living the life you want. Imagine how it feels, what you see, hear, and touch. This mental rehearsal trains your brain to believe success is possible. It also helps prepare you emotionally for challenges. So when they come, you meet them with calm and confidence. Stress and negative emotions are natural, but how you manage them impacts your mindset. Practices like deep breathing, mindfulness, or meditation help calm your mind and reduce anxiety. When you're calm, it's easier to think clearly, make good decisions, and maintain a positive outlook. Regularly taking time to relax and recharge protects your mindset from burnout and despair. Building a positive mindset also means embracing failure differently. Instead of fearing failure, see it as a necessary step toward success. Each failure is feedback, showing what doesn't work and guiding you toward what does. When you reframe failure as a teacher rather than a punishment, you free yourself to take risks and keep trying. This freedom is essential for growth and transformation. Resilience grows when you combine positivity with action. When you believe you can improve and take steps forward, you develop a cycle of progress. Positivity fuels action, action builds confidence, and confidence strengthens positivity. This cycle creates a powerful momentum that carries you through difficult times and propels you toward your goals. It's also critical to recognize when negative influences creep in and take deliberate steps to counter them. If you catch yourself slipping into despair or hopelessness, pause. Breathe deeply. Challenge those thoughts. Replace them with truths grounded in your past successes and your capacity to learn. This conscious shift rewires your brain toward optimism and solution-focused thinking. The body and mind are connected. Taking care of your physical health supports a positive mindset. Sleep, nutrition, and exercise impact your brain chemistry and emotional stability. When you feel physically strong, your mind is more resilient. Don't neglect these basics. They're the foundation for mental strength and a positive outlook. You might not realize how powerful your mindset is until you face a crisis and feel your perspective lift you up or pull you down. Choosing to cultivate positivity before a crisis strikes builds a mental reservoir of strength. When hard times arrive, and they will, you won't be caught off guard. You'll have the mental tools to handle them effectively. This isn't about ignoring reality or putting on a fake smile. It's about taking control over the way you interpret and respond to your circumstances. You have more power over your mind than you think. The brain is adaptable and can be trained to focus on positive, helpful thoughts that serve your growth. Number 10. Develop daily habits that support long-term success. You've felt it countless times, the exhaustion of trying to make a change only to fall back into old routines. The truth is, transformation isn't about sudden, massive leaps. It's about the small actions you repeat every day. Most people underestimate the power of daily habits because they focus only on big goals or dramatic moments. But real, lasting change happens in the mundane, the unnoticed rituals that build over time. If you want to truly change everything in 6 months, developing daily habits that support long-term success is non-negotiable. It starts with recognizing that your future is the sum of your daily choices. The decisions you make when no one is watching, the small steps you take even when motivation is low, these are what create your destiny. You can't rely on willpower alone. It's limited and will eventually run dry. Instead, build habits that become automatic. When habits form, your brain no longer fights change because these routines become second nature. One of the hardest realities to face is that bad habits are comfortable and familiar. They provide instant gratification, even if they harm your progress. Breaking free means deliberately creating new patterns that replace old ones. This isn't easy. It demands consistency and patience. You have to choose to do the right thing again and again, even when it's boring or difficult. This is where most people give up. They expect overnight success, but real growth is slow and steady. To begin developing supportive habits, first identify which habits align with your goals. For instance, if your aim is to improve health, consistent exercise and mindful eating become non-negotiables. If you want to grow your skills, dedicate time daily to learning or practicing. If financial freedom is the goal, habits like budgeting and saving become essential. Clarity about which habits serve your vision keeps you focused and prevents you from wasting energy on distractions. Start small. Trying to overhaul your entire life at once overwhelms and sabotages progress. Instead, pick 1 or 2 habits to focus on initially. When these become stable, add new ones gradually. This approach builds momentum and confidence. It also prevents burnout. Imagine stacking bricks one by one. Your foundation grows stronger. Another reality is that setbacks will happen. You will miss days, slip into old behaviors, or feel unmotivated. This is part of the process. The critical difference is how you respond. Don't let one missed day become an excuse for giving up entirely. Instead, recommit immediately. A single lapse doesn't erase progress. What matters is consistent effort over time. Tracking your habits helps maintain accountability and motivation. When you see progress visually, like marking off days on a calendar or using an app, you reinforce the habit loop. This visual proof reminds your brain that your efforts matter and encourages persistence. Celebrating small wins along the way also strengthens commitment. One often overlooked factor in habit formation is environment. Your surroundings influence your behavior more than you realize. To support your new habits, make your environment work for you. Remove temptations that lead to old habits and place cues that encourage positive actions. For example, if you want to read more, keep a book on your nightstand. If you want to eat healthier, stock your kitchen with nutritious options. Consistency also requires flexibility. Life is unpredictable and rigid routines can break under pressure. Instead of punishing yourself when life interferes, adapt your habits to fit new circumstances. The goal is progress, not perfection. For instance, if you miss a morning workout, fit in a shorter session later. This flexibility keeps habits sustainable over the long haul. Many people overlook the importance of morning and evening routines in supporting daily habits. These anchor points frame your day and set the tone for productivity and focus. A purposeful morning routine primes your mind and body for success, while an intentional evening routine helps you unwind and prepare for rest. These routines act like bookends, stabilizing your daily rhythm. Another key aspect is mindfulness. Being aware of your actions and intentions as you practice habits. Mindless repetition doesn't create lasting change. When you consciously engage with your habits, understand why they matter, and feel the benefits, they become more meaningful and easier to maintain. It's crucial to align habits with your core values and deeper why. Without this connection, habits feel like chores and quickly lose momentum. When your daily actions reflect what you truly care about, they fuel your motivation from within. This intrinsic motivation is far more powerful than external rewards or pressures. Accountability can boost habit formation dramatically. Sharing your goals and progress with someone who supports you creates a sense of responsibility. This could be a friend, mentor, coach, or community. Knowing someone else is aware of your commitments makes you less likely to give up. Plus, you gain encouragement and perspective when challenges arise. Technology can be both a help and a hindrance. Use tools like reminders, habit trackers, or focus apps to support your routines, but be careful not to get distracted by endless notifications or social media. Control your digital environment as consciously as your physical one. Sleep and recovery play an essential role in habit success. No matter how strong your willpower, exhaustion sabotages consistency. Prioritize adequate rest and downtime to maintain energy and clarity. Without this foundation, your daily habits will struggle to stick. Another overlooked truth is that habits are interconnected. Positive changes in one area often ripple into others. For example, regular exercise improves mood and energy, making it easier to focus on work or healthy eating. Recognizing these synergies amplifies your progress. Be patient with yourself. Habit formation is a journey with ups and downs. Some days you'll feel unstoppable, others defeated. Both are normal. What separates those who succeed from those who fail is the willingness to persist despite discomfort and setbacks. Celebrate progress regularly, not just the final goal. Each day you stick to a habit, you're reinforcing new neural pathways in your brain. These tiny victories accumulate into profound transformation. Don't wait to feel worthy, already embrace progress as it happens. Ultimately, your daily habits create your identity. When you repeatedly choose actions that align with who you want to be, you start living as that person. This identity shift reinforces habits and propels you forward effortlessly. The process feels less like hard work and more like natural expression. In 6 months, if you consistently build and maintain positive daily habits, you won't recognize your life. You will have reshaped your mind, body, and environment into a powerful platform for ongoing success. The effort you invest now will continue to pay dividends long after your initial goals are reached. Change is not about sudden transformation, but about the quiet power of persistence. The daily habits you cultivate are the building blocks of your future. They carry you through moments when motivation fades, challenges appear, or doubt creeps in. By mastering the art of daily habits, you gain control over your path and ensure that change is not temporary but permanent.